Have you guys ever considered how cool it would be to have decompressed animation footage from video games on DVDs? Well, if not, let's get to it! Hey guys, and welcome back to Action on Gamers. Today I dug a bit deeper and I figured we should talk about something that's rarely been discussed before about video games, and that's the animated cutscenes. Now, I'm a big fan of animation and cartoons in general. I've been ever since I was a kid. And I feel that from the moment you start up a game and it has an animated cutscene or an animated opening, it gives a really huge impression about what the game is about, what kind of atmosphere it's about to deliver. And I always figured that the animated cutscenes are a great way to start up your video game. Now, what I think is even cooler is when they add animated cutscenes into the game itself. So aside from the in-game cutscenes, you actually have these really great and costly animated cutscenes. They're really neat for the eye, and I must say it's just adoring to watch it. It brings me back to my childhood especially, and I love it especially when these kind of animated cutscenes translate the art style of the video game. And has a really nice way of animating it as well. So the reason why I actually wanted to discuss this was because not too long ago I received a really cool thing in the mail. It's this thing here, and what this is a laser disc containing the decompressed animation footage from Sakar Wars 1. And that's really cool. It's really rare to see this kind of thing happen. In fact, this is the first time I actually see this happen myself. And it made me think a bit, what kind of other games have amazing cutscenes in their own right that could deserve this kind of treatment, some kind of compilation DVD with all its cutscenes in it. And so the first thing that came to my mind was all these really great JRPGs from the PS1 era and the Saturn era. And of course there's so many, I can just think of one, there were so many coming to my head. I guess the first thing I thought about was Valkyrie Profile, which has a really outstanding opening, and for me I think it's probably what defines a really cool opening for a video game, because in that opening you had some really slick art that just represented all the characters so well. You had all the characters, you had some really cool story events that were shown that later took place in the game, and the music was just pumping. It was so great. So from the moment I saw that, I was hooked to Valkyrie Profile, and actually I love the game to death right now. The first time I played it was actually on the PSP, but before that I actually watched the animated cutscene, which made me want to go out and get the PSP game. And then for some other titles, I was thinking about Xenogears has so many great animated cutscenes in it. It's not just the animated opening, it's actually several cutscenes which are amazing. And they have such powerful imagery, and they look so great. There's so many of them too. There's about 30 minutes of footage in that game. For that to get some kind of high definition treatment, that would be amazing. Say what you will about the opening for Valkyrie Profile, but that's just one opening. A game like Xenogears that has this much cutscenes, this amount of cutscenes, deserve a DVD release of some sort. It would be worthwhile. And not to mention, the animation is just amazing. It's so fluid, it's so detailed, and I couldn't ask for more from an animated cutscene in a video game, to be honest. And then I can remember other games, like not only JRPGs, we have Tales of course, which have amazing cutscenes, and there's so many of them. They can get a great DVD release because there's so many games and it's still an ongoing series, So why not give those really cool animated cutscenes a chance to shine in HD? That'd be really cool. But like I said, there's enough JRPGs out there. There's also side-scrolling games. Like I remember when I was younger, I was a big fan of the Mega Man X series, and my introduction to Mega Man X was actually through Mega Man X4. And Mega Man X4 is an amazing game. I love it. But what really hooked me in the first place was the fact that it had animated cutscenes, because no other Mega Man X game had that. So that was my reason for choosing that as my first Mega Man X game. And it had this really sweet opening. I remember listening to it almost constantly as a kid. Like every morning when I went up, I booted up the computer, listened to it for a while I was checking out, I guess, Dragon Ball videos and whatever. And it was so much fun, just listening to this opening and seeing all this cool animation. And then I realized there was actually Japanese alternative opening with a different song, which I grew to love as well. So, coupled with a great animation and a great song to boot, or actually in this case 2 great songs, I became a big fan of that opening, and the rest of the animated cutscenes are really cool. The only thing that's bad about the animated cutscenes, arguably, is the American dub, which is not too good. But I didn't care about that as a kid, I just thought it was cool that it was animated. So to see that in HD and then relive my childhood would be pretty cool. But considering how things is going with Capcom right now and Mega Man, I doubt that it's gonna happen anytime soon. But you know, a guy can dream. And of course Mega Man 8 had some really cool animated cutscenes too. And as well in that, it had really bad voice acting. So what else? And Dragon Ball, speaking of which, actually Dragon Ball has a great series of fighting games, and those fighting games are coupled with really cool openings, and they have really awesome songs, by the way. So when I was a kid I did the same. I went on GameSpot, and back before YouTube existed, I put those videos on repeat all the time. I remember fondly listening to Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3's opening and the second game's opening. Just outstanding soundtracks and really, really cool animations. I remember back when I was younger, these were the first time I actually saw newly animated Dragon Ball animations, basically, because, you know, as with today, we don't really get too many new Dragon Ball animations. We actually just get a bunch of remasters. And for me, it was really cool to see all these awesome, like, drawings of Goku and Vegeta, like Vegeta being super detailed with a lot more shading and everything. And that just blew my mind, so I love that. And to see those kind of cutscenes in HD would be really cool. And I know that Dragon Ball Budokai got some HD remix on, or remasters on the PS3, so I'm curious to see if those actually have those cutscenes in them. But really, all of these games deserve to get the HD treatment because those cutscenes are just amazing. So in the end, it's really cool to see this kind of mix between mediums, and they deliver such a cool experience together. But anyways, you guys, if you know of any really, really old animation cutscenes from maybe the Sega Saturn or older, you know, systems with really compressed footage that you'd like to see in HD, such as, you know, this thing, it would be cool if you guys could share it in the comment section so we could know. Anyways, you guys, until next time, keep watching cartoons and get gaming.